I've done a book called What is Poetry? The Essential Guide to Reading and Writing Poems, based on my experience of writing poems, but also working with children for, wow, it must be over 40 years now. My first book of poems came out in 1974. So yes, it is more than 40 years. So I wrote this book based on that kind of experience. And it's got several chapters in it. What is poetry? What can you do with a poem? My thoughts as I was writing some poems. And then I got a chapter on ways to start a poem, ideas for writing poems themselves. And then I've got a section on some technical points about poems. And then a final chapter on, so what is poetry? Because, you know, we keep using this word, so what is it? You'll notice, actually, as you go through the book, that I kind of duck the question. In fact, I duck it so much that I seem to remember I've left you or children reading the book a page to write yourself on what is poetry. Yes, there it is. Look, some blank pages. So what is poetry? And there you go. You've got a couple of blank pages where you can write in there about what is poetry. So that's a way of helping so you can see inside my mind as I'm writing poems. There's ways of reading poems and sort of tactics, if you like, or strategies for reading poems if it doesn't fly straight off the page. And then lots of ways of thinking about what is a poem. Before I go, there's one page I'd like to read from the book for you, and I call this I Could Write Like That. The easiest way to write a poem, I promise you this, is to read a poem by someone else and then say to yourself, I could write a poem like that. Now, when I say like that, it could be that you imitate how it sounds, or maybe you use the same rhythm, maybe you use the same shape, or you write the same type of poem, such as a sonnet or a limerick. Or it could be that you say to yourself, this poem is about the poet's, let's say, favourite food, and then you say to yourself, I'll write a poem about my favourite food. Or you could write about something that just simply came into your mind, came into your mind while you were reading the poem. You need never feel that you have to write in a particular way after you've read a particular poem. You can be inspired by any part of it, any sound you like, any meaning, any picture that comes to you from the poem that then occurs to you. And you can do this with any poem that you ever read. And it's the simplest way to get into writing poems. So if you're in a class and there are lots of poems coming at you, people are reading poems and so on, the simplest thing, whether you're a teacher or whether you're a child, is simply say, we could write poems like that. I could write a poem like that. You could write a poem like that. And that little phrase, like that, can mean any aspect of the poem at all. So this is a way of being inspired by poems, because poems are catchy. So what you do is you catch some of the catchiness. So there you go. That's What is Poetry? The Essential Guide to Reading and Writing Poems. And my name seems to be in quite bright letters there. Michael Rosen.